What's up, guys? Venom 1221. Today with Disaster Dragon Part 6 for the matchup segment. This is the third matchup, I think. But yeah, before I get started, I got mail from Battler VB, which I mentioned last video, and I forgot what his username was, but he sent me the OCG Blizzard Dragons in the trade. So I got your stuff. Was real busy this week, but all your stuff will be out by the weekend, by the end of the weekend. So, yeah. Also, I got a quick update. I said I was going to order a custom mat. The guy has been messaging me back, and I gave my friend an idea because he's a really good artist to actually draw custom playmats, and I got his first playmat. And I mean, it's hand-drawn, so it's going to have flaws, but for a hand-drawing, it's actually really good. I made him make me a Disaster Dragon playmat. It's pretty good. I got to figure out what I'm going to do for the background. But, I mean, for hand-drawn, I think it's pretty solid. This is the playmat I'll be using just to help him out. It is his first playmat, but so far, I think it's pretty good. I just got Kokomiri Drago, Darkness Metal, 5-headed Dragon, Prime Material, and Red Eyes Wyvern in the corner. But yeah, that's that with that. I mean, if you guys want one, he could draw anything. So if you guys really want one on a playmat, just PM me, I guess. I can have him make you one. $20, which is actually fairly cheap, considering he has to draw it and hand draw it, take the time to draw it. But yeah, today's segment will be Disaster Dragon, and it is Gladiator Beast matchup. So I'm going to discuss some cards. Gladiator Beast is a deck that they tag out, they can attack and tag out for another monster to gain card advantage. And they can also contact fuse on the field, which is pretty nice. But to battle them, I choose Exploder Dragon. Exploder Dragon is going to kamikaze into their guy, and just kind of like they're not going to be able to tag out. So I'm not normally going to run into it unless it's like Heraclinos. But I just set it, and I'll attack into it with like a Lakari, Bestiari, thinking they're going to tag, and they end up never tagging me because it dies. So it's a good set. You could just ram their cards. It's very helpful in the matchup. Next card, Kokomiri Drago. It'll help them from contact fusing into Gazaris. That's all, really. You guys may think, well, Gazaris just one card. A lot of like the common GB players, like your average GB player, will say, let me go for Gazaris constantly. They'll just think, bringing out Bezzy, contact fusing for Gazaris, and they'll forget about Drago, and they won't be able to do that. So, I mean, like, that's pretty much it for that card. I mean, it'll just stop them from getting out Gazaris, and it'll slow them down because they can't do that whole contact fusing thing. The third card is Light and Darkness. This will stop them from tagging out, which is the whole engine of the deck. And if they think Synchro for Gazaris, or Contact Fuse for Gazaris, if they manage to do that, they can't pop 2 cards or else it'll get negated. So it just slows them down a lot. I'm working on some changes and stuff, and I'm thinking about tossing a second Light and Darkness Dragon just because it helps out in a lot of matchups, and I've noticed myself I've been showing it off a lot because it's been a key card for quite a few matchups. So they attack, if they even manage to get off an attack, whatever, or they Waboku you. So yeah, that'll get by it, and it'll gain all their other stuff. They can't War Chariot it because it's a continuous effect, but they can War Chariot when it dies and brings on a monster. But that's it. So it'll slow down them tremendously. And the last main deck card is Burst Breath. All GB's monsters, including Gazaris, and Heraclinos has 2,800, so he's pretty big. But if you were to sacrifice a Burst Breath a Wyvern, or Burst Breath a Darkness Metal, and they had no cards, you could kill him. But other than, with the exception of Heraclinos, the whole deck gets destroyed just by trooping a small monster. They all have very low defense. Even Gazaris has really low defense. I think it has maybe 1,000 defense or something like that, maybe 16. I don't know. I don't really know. I haven't played the card in a while. But yeah, it'll just completely. They could be getting ready to contact fuse they could have Lakari Ready Ari or Darius or like Lakari, revive with Darius and do something, and then before they could even contact you could flip your Burst Breath and kill their field. Again, Burst Breath, if they do play Starlight Road, side it out, you can't risk it. But not everybody plays Starlight Road, which is why I love to keep it in the main deck. And the final card, this is from the extra deck. I chose Exploded Dragonwing. Just because the part of the effect where if it attacks a monster, it instantly destroys it without damage calculation by the card effect, and it burns it for that much damage. So, meaning like if they Waboku you, it will still kill it. They could War Chariot it, but it'll just get past them, so they'll have like a dead Waboku or something, and they won't be able to play it because their guy dies anyway. So, all in all, it's a very helpful card. I try to bring that out as quick as possible, just because it'll force them to get rid of it, or else they're not going to be able to tag out. It's pretty simple, and it's a pretty big beast just for against our deck. I mean, the only thing I can see them to get rid of it is Herculenos, War Chariot, or Gazaris. And if you have Drago out, they won't be able to Gazaris anyway. That's it really for the main deck. Just let me double check that before I move on. Other than your random, your staples like Book of Moons, Bottomless Trap Holes, that's all gonna take out their stuff. I guess you could say My Body is a Shield and Prime Material Dragon, just because they'll negate the effect of Gyzaris. So I guess you could say they help. They synchro. They're not paying attention. They go to pop 2 monsters, and you discard for Prime Material, or they pop 2 cards. One of them's a monster. You can My Body as a shield. So that's really it for that. In the sideboard, some cards that I side deck that will help for the matchup is, if you find out that Drago's not working out, as you can say, you could go to Thunder King, or you could go a Drago and 2 Thunder King, or a Thunder King and 2 Drago. If you want, I go back and forth with that sometimes, but sometimes I don't even bother setting it in. Stamping Destruction, I usually don't side it in, but if you find out they're being War Chariot heavy, then definitely side it in. If you're worried about War Chariot. War Chariot doesn't even really mess with the deck all that much if you're playing it, right? Everybody knows about these. Mirror Oaths. What it's going to do is when they tag out, it destroys their monster and you draw a card. I'm thinking about personally just trying out Swallow Flip, because it seems better. This doesn't negate the effect, so they can Murmillo your card, but you still draw a card. I don't like how they get the effect off at all. I don't want them to get that, so I might try out some Swallow Flips so I can get my hands on them. And just like Black Wings, I would assign to some Trap Holes. They can't get their whole special summoning if they can't tag. And if they can't tag, then they lose the game. So they're based around tagging. They need like a pity tag, so they summon their Ready Ari and you Trap Hole it, or Bestiari, Trap Hole. Yeah, all their cards are gonna be hit by Trap Hole. So yeah. And the last card in the sideboard is Magical Prison. I side those in as well. If they play Starlight Road, I side them in over Starlight Road, or I side them in over Burst Breath. Or I'll side out like some cards, maybe like a Brain Control, because Brain Control really won't help out that much, or like one of my copies of Book of Moon I'll take out. Maybe Call the Haunted, just because removing their Bestiari is game breaking. That means they can't go Gazaris anymore at all for the rest of the game. So yeah, but that's it, guys. Pretty quick segment. It sounds simple, but I do think it's a very tough matchup for this deck. Just because they're so fast and they can do so much stuff. But if you stop them dead in their tracks before they can get started, you'll have a pretty good time, beating the deck. So yeah, that's the Disaster Dragon Part 6, the matchup Gladiator Beast. Guys, rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys want a custom mat, it's pretty good drawing. I mean, not perfect, but it's still pretty good. Hit me up, $20, anything you want. Thanks, guys.